Good day, Bashar.
And you, good day.
Um, well, I'm very excited to be talking to you.
Oh, well, thank you. We are very excited as well. All the time.
And well,
Yay.
I suppose I feel very much like a child.
You are,
I know.
especially in comparison to us. That is
But-
not meant in a derogatory way.
Oh,
We
no,
only
no.
remind all of you that while some of you complain and feel that you are very old or are running out of time and that you have no time to accomplish what you wanted and oh, woe is you, that you are all actually quite young and can accomplish anything you want in timing if you stop worrying about time. So, my child, do continue.
Well, I find myself
Oh, good. Congratulations for finding yourself.
frequently experiencing that playing the part of the wounded child.
No.
And I experience a great deal of pain
Yes.
and anger.
And what is it about the pain and anger that works for you? Because I guarantee you, if you didn't have a belief in you that the pain and anger worked for you on some level, I guarantee you, you wouldn't have it.
Well,
You wouldn't hold on to the beliefs that perpetuate it.
I think it's because it's telling me that I'm not being myself.
Yes. Pain is the result of resistance to the natural self. So why are you resisting being the natural you? Is there some fear involved in letting go of the old ideas and allowing yourself to be who you truly are? Because that's the only reason why you would hold back from being your true self and creating pain from the resistance of doing so. You see, this again all comes down to the idea of the mechanism of motivation. You only all have one mechanism of motivation. You all, always, without exception, immediately choose the reality that is in the direction of what you believe gives you the most pleasure and automatically move away from the reality you believe gives you the most pain. Automatically. Therefore, if you're actually experiencing a choice that have a label on the alternative that actually makes the alternative seem more painful than what you're choosing now, even as painful as it is. Because as soon as you label the new reality as less painful, you would automatically move in that direction without hesitation. So the hesitation only comes from the fact that you may have a belief system or a definition or a label about the change you say you want to make that somehow deep down actually makes it seem more scary than staying with the familiar thing you're already experiencing, even though it's no longer comfortable for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So what is holding you back? What fear, what label, what definition is holding you back from being who you prefer to be? Can you name even one?
That's a very good question.
Oh, thank you very much. We have been known to ask them. Let me help you. The idea of being in pain, being in fear, is that if you are in pain, if you are in fear, use it to your advantage. Don't suppress it. Don't diminish it. Let it expand. Become even more afraid. And say, let my imagination hit me with what the worst possible thing could be if I actually allowed myself to be who I prefer to be. What is the worst possible thing I'm afraid might happen? Actually ask for the scenario to come into your mind of what the worst possible fear you have might be, and then you will start to illuminate what the belief system is. So what's the worst possible thing you imagine might happen if you actually allowed yourself to be who you prefer to be? Name one thing. Come, I know you have it in you.
That's such a difficult question.
No.
No?
No,
it isn't.
But it shows you that the reason it is experienced by you as difficult is because of the degree of pain you have associated to the thing you wish to choose. Let me put you in touch with another simple example. I'm not saying this is your case, but it may give you an illustration to help unlock.
I understand.
All right. So the idea is that in your reality, many times individuals are raised with contradictory belief systems that then become at odds with each other. A classic example in your reality is the idea of money. On one hand, many times your parents, in bringing you up, will say, in order to be successful, you have to make a lot of money. On the other hand, society will say, love of money is the root of all evil. Well, if a person grows up with these contradictory belief systems and gets to a point where they have to make a decision as to which way to go, they will have this tug of war within their consciousness that says, well, I would like to make a lot of money and I would like to be successful, but I don't want to be a bad person. Because they have made the connection that to have abundance is to be bad. Now, you can look at that, and if you discover that you have that kind of a belief system, and you can identify it for what it is and make it transparent, then you can recognize the fallacy in linking those things together. They are only linked in your unconscious mind. Once you bring them into conscious recognition, you can break that link just by identifying that the belief is there. Because once you identify that you have this belief that making a lot of money is a bad thing to do, you can recognize from your adult perspective that that is quite a ridiculous belief to have to have. It may be real while you have it, but you don't have to have it. Obviously, not everyone in your world believes that. There are a lot of very good people who are also very wealthy, yes? Therefore, the idea is that that belief does not have to be linked that way. So once you identify what the belief is you have attached to the things you say you prefer, you can examine them and identify them, and upon identification, you can realize they don't have to remain linked. It'll start looking like someone else's belief. It'll start looking like a fallacy. It will start looking like a fairy tale to you, and you can start to let it go and examine what kind of belief you would rather attach to the idea that you say you prefer. Now, of course, if you have yet again another underlying belief, a fundamental foundational belief that says, oh, no matter how many good beliefs I attach to this idea, I will never actually believe they will stick, then you have to get in touch with why you have that belief. But as you keep examining the different beliefs that are connected to one another, that are interlinked, you will eventually unravel and unkink them all, and you will get to the basic fundamental belief, and once you unkink that, they will all fall apart. And you can replace them with what beliefs you prefer, because at that point, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt, by having done this investigation into yourself, this examination of yourself in an honest way, you will know that any new belief you decide to have will be upheld by creation just as solidly as the old belief was. Because believe me, creation does not have anything against you, otherwise it wouldn't have created you.
That was a triggering point.
Yes. So the idea is that if creation was willing to uphold your choice to have a belief that didn't serve you, why wouldn't creation uphold a belief that does serve you? You see, creation, if you wish to put it this way, is unconditionally loving. Unconditionally loving. Look up the word in your dictionary. Unconditional. Not, oh yes, it's unconditionally loving except for these conditions. Unconditionally loving. That means creation loves you and supports you so unconditionally, it will even allow you to believe you are not unconditionally loved. That's how unconditionally loved you are. It will let you believe that and totally support you in that belief that you are not loved. But if it will support you in that, it will not contradict you when you choose to believe that you are supported and loved and deserve to exist. Because again, by definition, I guarantee you that it doesn't make mistakes in the sense of its creation. There is no pointless creation. All that is had to create all of you in order to be all that is. If one of you is missing, all that is isn't all that is. So if you exist, that tells you all that is new you had to in order for all that is to be complete. Therefore, don't argue with all that is about the deservability of your existence. If you exist, you obviously by definition deserve to, or believe me, you wouldn't. And of course, if you didn't, this question wouldn't even come up. The fact that you can even wonder whether you deserve what you prefer tells you that you do. Because the very fact you can ask the question means you exist. And if you exist, it means you deserve to, or you wouldn't have. Is this making some sense as it's sinking in?
It is.
A little, a lot?
Oh, well, it's very moving.
Oh, all right. Is it moving in a positive direction?
I think so.
You think so? Do you feel so?
I'm uncertain.
I know. Do you enjoy being uncertain?
Yes.
Why? What do you get out of it?
Wonderment.
Wonderment? About what?
Wondering what, I don't know. It's fun.
It's fun to wonder. Well, you can have positive wonderment, but you can also have negative confusion. So which is it? Is it actually wonderment or is it confusion? You have already said that you're not sure that you're enjoying this state of being. Is that true?
That is.
Yes?
Yes.
Then doesn't that mean it's not wonderment in the positive sense?
I suppose.
You suppose. Are you even confused about the definitions of things?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, all the time. All right. Well, why don't you make a decision to be more definitive about your definitions?
Ooh.
Ooh. Is that too scary?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. Let's go back to the original question.
Oh.
Is there something that you would prefer to be doing that you are not doing because you are afraid something negative will happen if you do?
I believe so.
And can you name one example of what that might look like? If you actually took a step in the direction of what you would prefer to do, what would you be doing that you're not doing now?
I'd probably be here with someone.
All right. And what are you afraid of?
I'm afraid.
Yes. Don't be afraid to be afraid. It's all right to be afraid. What are you afraid of?
Well, I'm afraid because I'm often told that my beliefs are wrong.
And just because you are told that your beliefs are wrong, why do you choose to believe that?
Because I trust the person telling me.
Instead of yourself.
Yes.
Why?
Oh.
What do you get out of giving your power away like that?
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's something that's often brought up.
Well, I wonder why.
Oh, I think that comes back to the child part.
All right. Well, do you wish to continue to be the child in pain, the wounded child?
No.
Are you sick and tired of it enough to no longer play that game?
I think that's kind of part of it.
Yes, I know that you're progressing in that direction. We are assisting you in your process. Nevertheless, this process can actually be accelerated by you if you wish it to be, or it doesn't have to be. We're not going to push you. We're not going to force you. If you wish to continue for a while longer in pain and being the wounded child, believe me, we love you enough to not take that away from you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Nevertheless, if you're
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Nevertheless, if you're actually saying that you're really finally, truly tired of it, all we are doing is reinforcing and reassuring you that you do have the capability of letting it go. And if you do, I can guarantee you will be just as strongly supported in your new vision of yourself as the healthful child, the playful child, the joyful child, as you have been as the wounded child.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it because creation guarantees it. Therefore, it's not my guarantee. It's creation. Why don't you let this all sink in, sleep on it, as you say, and see if it makes a difference in a day or two or three.
Thank you.
All right? Pleasant dreams.
Thank you.
Bashar, we have another question.
Oh, all right.
Is spoon bending shifting realities?
Spoon bending is shifting realities. Bending anything is shifting realities. Any movement at all that you perceive is a shift in reality because every single discrete reality is simply a static snapshot, unchanging. The only way you experience any change at all is by focusing and shifting your consciousness through the different realities. Again, much like the beam of light from a projector through the different frames of film. Each frame is static, frozen, a snapshot, unmoving. But you create the illusion of movement by passing the frames in front of the projector light, which is your consciousness. So as you shift from reality to reality that is representative of a different position, those are all different parallel realities. So bending anything, including spoons, is just a matter of understanding how to shift your focus from one reality to another, wherein those realities, the spoon is simply representative of a different configuration. That's one way of looking at it. There are, of course, other ways of looking at it, depending upon who is looking. All right?
I have some sense of you discussing how it's helpful to be able to spoon bend
Well,
for
it
your
can be.
consciousness.
But again, the idea is that's just one more permission slip. If an individual's belief system decides that attempting bending spoons is a way to reflect to themselves the reality of the existence of different parallel realities, then it can be a helpful tool. But again, it is simply another permission slip to allow them to grant themselves permission to be more of who they are and be more aware of the being that they have been created to be.
I see. Okay, great. Thank
Thank
you.
you for bending our ear.